Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here today. One of my favorite things to do on a Sunday is in the morning, wake up and meditate, especially if we can do it together as a community. To me, that's like the best case scenario. So, welcome. I'm Dashima, of course. And I just want to start out by saying if you're here this morning and you're tuning in for a meditation on a Sunday morning, congratulations and good job. You are doing everything that you can to set yourself up for the best week possible. One of the things that Sunday is so beautiful for is, first of all, getting some rest, which you should definitely do, but also to really set the tone for the week that's coming up. And this weekend is actually in America, it's Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is also a very beautiful holiday to remember all of the people who have been in the wars, actually, that it fought and potentially even died for our freedom. So when I think about that, I really think about the core of that, which is that dedication to service, to helping others, and also to freedom. And when we are born, I think that we underestimate the process that happens between birth and becoming an adult. But as a baby, we are completely free. We are just bubbling with bliss and joy. And then what happens is, as people grow older, grow up, and they experience numerous different things in life, then life starts to feel perhaps less and less free. So through the practice of meditation, through the practice of consciousness in general, our task, I guess you could say, our intention can be to return back to that beautiful, blissful innocence of freedom that we have when we're a baby, and then invoke that into our adult life. And that's what meditation has the power to do. So the energy of that is what matters the most. So when you think about, like, how do you feel, just tap in right now to how are you feeling in this moment. So take a moment to do that. Just close your eyes. You can place your hands on your heart. You can place one on your heart, one on your belly, whatever you feel good doing. But just connect with yourself for a moment and just assess on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say, how free do you feel? And when we say free, I also like to use the word expansive, or you could think of it as peaceful. There are different emotions: blissful, joyous, full of vitality. These are the types of words that we could start to kind of identify with in terms of the kind of like feeling of freedom. So if you're not feeling any of that, totally okay. And through this meditation practice, we're going to elevate to that vibration. But one of the things that I always teach in my trainings is kind of this concept of the emotional tone scale. So the emotional tone scale is that there are various frequencies of emotions that we can be experiencing at any moment. So right now, if you're experiencing, let's say maybe you're just tired, or maybe you're sad, or maybe there's like stress, or maybe there's, you're just neutral, or maybe you're feeling at peace, or maybe you're feeling some joy, whatever emotions that you might be feeling, that's kind of like what we'll call the baseline. So the baseline emotion or feeling that you have right now, we want to rate that. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say that the current way that you feel right now is? And you can post that in the comments, you can post that in the chat, or just think about that to yourself. And then what we want to do is we aspire through this meditation that we'll do together is to raise the vibration to the next level and to leave here feeling better than when you came. How does that sound? Let me know if you are also already a meditator. And if so, post in the chat or post in the comments, what kind of meditations have you been most drawn to up until now? Because one of the things I always teach in the Flow State app and my yoga teacher trainings and the different programs that I lead is this idea that there are many forms of meditation. Now, in the very traditional sense, when people talk about meditation, for example, people from India, a lot of times they're not talking about a specific technique. They're more talking about the actual state that you get into. So if you say, I'm meditating, that means, generally from the traditional sense, I'm in a meditative state. And a meditative state is the feeling that you kind of dissolve the barrier between self and everything else and merge into this experience of oneness. So the oneness of existence is that everything exists in the universe and it's really all interconnected. So you are interconnected with me. We are both interconnected with Mother Earth, with the cosmic universe, the stars, the planets, and each other. So as we start to dissolve these kind of like barriers that we have that separate us, we start to experience more and more our true nature. And our true nature is that interconnectedness, that oneness of existence. And when we come back to the 3D reality that we live in, and then we go back to the duality, and we're like, okay, I'm separate from you. I have a body, you have a body. We have somebody here. She says, I'm a reluctant meditator. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. You know, I will like to ask you a question. If you feel a reluctant meditator, post in the comment, what is it that you're reluctant about? Are you perhaps nervous or have any fear about what could happen? Or have you just not done it before? So you're kind of like trying it out. Or perhaps that you had an experience before that wasn't what you thought it should be, and so it made you have more reluctance. I'd like to understand more what you feel reluctant about so that I can help you to feel more calm and more at peace and more safe. Because meditation is really safe. I mean, the actual thing that I was just describing, which is to be in a meditative state, is not only safe, it's truly like one of the most healthy things that you can do on a regular basis, is to let go of all the thoughts, because the thoughts are usually what causes all the stress, right? So there's a saying that your mind is your karma. So what does it mean? Your thoughts are creating this like action reaction situations in life, right? So if I have a thought and then I attract something that kind of mirrors that thought and confirms it, then all of a sudden I'm creating like all sorts of situations. And so to get in the meditative state is to distance ourselves from all of that and to just be in the meditative state. So that gives you a little bit of space between your current reality and perhaps the reality that you want to create, or the current state that you're in, if there's stress there or like even reluctance, and then getting outside of that and feeling calm and joyous and at peace. Let's see, inconsistent because the mind chatter takes over whenever I try it. Okay. So that's very common. First of all, mind chatter is like, everybody has it. And the reason is because the mind has a will of its own. And so through the practice of meditation, our intention is actually to learn how to master the mind. So what we want to do is, instead of the mind doing its thing like autopilot, and we just are like, okay, my mind always goes into chatter, instead observing that and then starting to be the boss of it and be like, okay, let these thoughts go, and like kind of like if it was a puppy or if it was a child. And a lot of times they actually compare it to a monkey because it's like it has a will of its own and it wants to do all these things. And so what we have the opportunity through meditation is to kind of learn how to be the boss of our own mind, right? Tell it what to do. So when the thoughts come, instead of fighting the thoughts, right? Because that never gets anywhere. Fighting never gets anywhere. Trying to force something doesn't get anywhere. So what does help? Actually observing and just allowing, and at the same time, bringing your focus back to the breath. The breath is the greatest ally when it comes to the meditative practice, because the breath is our link between the spiritual realm and our physical realm. Think about it, the breath, like if you think about what is breath is like an invisible, it's air, but like it's ether. On the different elements, we have matter, we have water, solid, earth, right? Earth, water, fire, and then we have ether. So ether is the gaseous, invisible realm, and that's what your breath is. So the breath is our connection to the invisible realm. It's our connection to spirit. So we bring our awareness back to the breath every time we find that we're caught up in the thoughts, and just observe it. It's just like, if you were sitting there looking at the moon, maybe if you've ever watched the full moon, outside at night and you just look at the moon, you just observe it. And you don't even have to think, right? It's just more like, wow, in awe, in observation, in contemplation without thought. So here's what we want to do. Whenever you find yourself getting lost back into the thoughts, or the thoughts come in, and like she said, mind chatter, that you just bring your awareness back to the breath and back to this moment and see how long you can stay there. Now, usually it might just be like a few breaths, and that's okay. It's like when you start working out in the gym. In the beginning, you get really tired soon and you get sore and all of these things. The more you work out, whether it's running or yoga or lifting weights, whatever, the more you do something, the stronger you get, the better you get. This is the path of mastery. The only difference between a master and someone who's a novice is the amount of time and disciplined practice that they have dedicated to their craft. So if you're a master of meditation, for example, it means that you've dedicated time consistently over a period of years. And as a result of that consistent dedicated practice, it became easier and easier. Now, did it become easier or did you become better? That's the question, right? Now, the truth is, it became easier because you became better, you became stronger, you became more masterful. So consistent daily practice, whether it's working out with your yoga or specifically with your meditation, which is what we're talking about right now. So as you start to get into the groove of this, right? Like where you're like, okay, so I'm going to look at this, like I'm strengthening the muscle of my mind. I'm strengthening the muscle of my focus. And through this like consistent practice, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, through this consistent practice, you start to see it gets actually easier and easier. And then the nice thing is, once it gets easier, it also becomes more enjoyable. Whereas previously, Anitri, beautiful Anitri, was saying that she's reluctant. So you no longer become reluctant. Then you become enthusiastic. Enthusiastic is where you're like, I love meditation. Every time now, since I've been practicing for a while, when I sit down to meditate, I feel really great at the end of that. And I come up out of there, I'm like, wow, that was so worthwhile. I'm so glad that I took that time to do that, because now my day is just going to flow so much more easily because I put myself into that meditative state, which is a calm awareness that everything in life is actually in divine and perfect order. It's only us, humans, and our response to what's happening that causes stress. So here's an interesting thing. Think about the people in the military, for example. Now, of course, most of them are not masters of meditation, but they learn to operate under tremendous stress. So your body and your mind, and even your emotions as well, all learn how to adapt to whatever level of stress might be going on in your life. And the only difference between someone who like falls apart and then someone who breezes through life is really the response that we have to the stress that we experience, because everybody experiences stress, whether it's driving in your car or like relationship dynamics or something with work or your children or your family or your dogs, whatever it is, everybody has some kind of stress. So what we can learn to do is manage our response to life. And that's what meditation allows us to do. So then whenever things are happening around us, we become that observer, just like we did when we were observing the breath. Instead of just observing the breath, we observe life. And then you can start to see how it's directly applicable to everything in your life, right? So you're like, yeah, when I was sitting on my cushion and I was just observing my breath and I was just in a calm state of joyous awareness, and not fighting anything. And I wasn't, like freaking out at all, right? Instead, I was just like calm, enjoying the process, observing the breath. And then you can apply that to things that happen outside of your meditation practice. So then if you're driving and somebody cuts you off, now we've all had that experience, right? And so you can either be like, angry, or you can be like, okay, that guy must be in a hurry, and kind of just like allowing, be more in the calm state of awareness instead of the reactivity. So that's what meditation really helps us to do, is move away from the reactivity and put us more into the calm state of awareness, acceptance, and allowing. Because if we're in a state of allowing, whatever life is presenting us with is actually, for whatever reason, what we need in this moment. So if we can trust that, if we're like, okay, whatever is presenting itself in your life at this moment is for some reason what your soul feels like you need. So allowing that and being grateful for it and saying, wow, actually, I'm going to trust that what's showing up for me is what I need to get to the next level, to grow to the next level of my beingness. And that's what we're really here for in life anyway, is to grow, to evolve, and to get to the next level of our like human and spiritual development and beingness. And as we face challenges, then those are those moments where we become more and more strengthened and tested, you could say, but really strengthening your focus, your resolve, and your choice and your decision to stay calm, even when it feels like everything's falling apart, or even when things are just totally out of your control. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Let's see. She said, getting comfortable with the currently uncomfortable. Yes, exactly. And you know what's so interesting about that? I do want to mention, because here we are in the world. The world right now is actually going through a massive upgrade. And I'm going to call it an upgrade, but you could also say transformation. The planet, obviously, we can tell that from, for example, the pandemic that we've had, the lockdowns, all of the crazy stuff. Now we have a war on the planet. We have tremendous mental health crisis. The financial institutions are also breaking down. So we have just like so many things right now. So if you looked at it from like trying to be attached to wanting it to be a different way, it would be very stressful. And you'd be like, oh my God, the world is horrible. But instead, if we can take this same stance, like we were just talking about, and we can observe it instead of getting wrapped up into what we want it to be and how that's not matching up to what it is, and just observe it and say, wow, the whole planet is actually going through a massive transformation. And we are a part of that because we are the world. You are the world. You are a little microcosm of the macrocosm. You are a little tiny, like we are all little tiny specks in the big picture, but at the same time, everything is happening within us and around us. So when we see that the war or the this or that is happening, what do? We go inside and we find, how do I find more peace in my life? How can I be the embodiment of the energy of peace and love and compassion at this time on earth to help those around me through this difficult time as well? That's our opportunity being here on this planet at this time. And it's not easy, but if you have been called to be a conscious person, to be a spiritual person, to rise up and live in a, I'll call it, there's different words for it, but I like to think like a pure, coming from a place of goodness. Like if you feel called to be that person that is the embodiment of the divine, which is what I feel, if you're a part of this community, you are, because that's really what we're all about. So if you're called to be an embodiment of the divine in this world, then it's actually a difficult assignment because we're in a chaotic time on the earth. So the more that we see the crazies going on around us, and then we have to be even more in our power of discernment, of choosing how we respond and choosing to come from a place of love and conscious awareness, but also strength, so you don't get taken advantage of, because there's a lot of crazy stuff, scams going on the hackers, and it's a lot of stuff going on right now on the planet. And so to stay in the field of grace, to stay connected to the divine source of life, that's what your meditation practice will help. It will strengthen that ability to stay in that energy no matter what's going on around us. Does that feel like it's worth it? Leave a comment if you feel like, yes, that's the reason that I'm here. That's the reason that I'm alive right now on the planet. I am here to be a vessel of goodness. I am here to be a leader or a torch. I like to think of it like a torch bearer. Like a torch bearer is somebody who carries the light and helps others to find the light, because you are committed to being the light and to holding that light of truth, and to leading the way for others who might be having an even more difficult time. So leave a comment if you agree right now that, first of all, that you are here to be the light. And secondly, that, yeah, the planet is in a very interesting time on Earth. And so the more that we stick together, the more that we come together as a community and connect to the higher vibrations of love and joy and peace and truth, and cut off all, that's what we call healthy boundaries, cutting the cords of any people or situations in our lives that may be out of alignment with that. That's super important. If you're an empath, which is somebody who's like exceptionally sensitive to energy, if you're an empath, leave a comment or click the like, or if you're on YouTube. But really, reason I'm asking that is because if you feel this sensitivity to the earth, it can be very difficult to live on this planet right now. But at the same time, the more you stay connected to the community, you start to feel less and less alone here. And then you can start to feel stronger in the community aspect, because you realize it's not just me in this world alone, it's us. We are a tribe of light beings. We are here on earth at this time to lead the way and help people through this challenging and transformational time on earth. Leave a comment if you feel that way, if you feel that that's what you're here for. Yes, I see. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do this meditation. Before we get into it, I just want to mention I'm super excited. We're going to be doing the Flow State Festival in Miami Beach in just a few weeks. It's actually June 17th through the 19th. It's at the Faena Hotel, which is the #1 rated 5-star beautiful place on the beach in Florida, and #2 in the whole USA. It's really, really just a remarkable, beautiful place. We're going to have so many people coming together to meditate and do yoga and healing work and pranic healing and dancing and breath work and rebirthing and ceremony and having concerts and all sorts of good stuff. So anyway, if you feel called to be connecting to tribe and community in a real physical way, this is the community event for you. This is going to be the best weekend of 2022. I really believe that. So many incredible souls coming together to make this an incredible and beautiful, life-changing weekend. And our goal of this weekend, by the way, is so that it's like a retreat weekend. I've been leading retreats for over 14 years. And one of the takeaways I love for you to have is when you come day one and you leave a completely different person at the end of the experience. So that's what I call transformation. Literally, where you let go of anything that's blocking the flow of your life, any grief, any sadness, any cords that need to be cut, any energy that needs to be clear, and then elevate the vibration, gain greater clarity about your purpose and your life on earth right now and who you're meant to connect to, meet new friends and amazing community tribe from all over the world, and truly leaving that experience after just a few days feeling renewed, rejuvenated, and transformed, ready to take on the world and proceed back to your life, but not in the way that you were, but on an upgraded 2.0 type of level, where it's like you power down your phone and you allow it to do all the updates, and then you get the phone back and it has all these more powers. It can do so many more things, because that's what this is about. It's an upgrade. It's an update for your consciousness and your energy and your emotions and your vibration. And we're going to be doing all of this in just one weekend, June 17th through the 19th in Miami Beach at the Faena. And it's really a remarkable and beautiful experience. I can't wait to see you all there. And you can check it out at flowstatefest.com. meditatorfest.com. And if you use my name, Dashima, you get 10% off your ticket. I hope to see you there. It's going to be remarkable. Bring your friends. There's even a whole opportunity on Friday for Father's Day where the fathers will be honored in a beautiful sound healing ceremony led by one of the fathers in our community, Jared B. Strong from the Miami Sound Healing Orchestra. And we also have a divine goddess healing ceremony on Saturday. So we'll be healing the goddess and the divine masculine and bringing it all together at the end of the weekend for a beautiful culmination and sending healing, loving energy out to the whole world through the Twin Hearts meditation that we'll be leading in our closing ceremony. So hopefully you can be with us. Definitely tell your friends. And if you'd like to earn income for spreading the word, we also have an affiliate program where you can earn 33% of the tickets that you refer friends to. So if you wanted to earn some money, we created ways to offer you abundance in that regard as well. If you want to come, you can get 10% off of your ticket as well. And we just really look forward to spending that time together because I do believe that being physically together in the same space amplifies our intentions, and collectively we can be that much more powerful when we all come together in the physical realm. We've all been doing online things for a while now. I mean, I've been doing it for like 17 years, but during COVID, everybody was doing it, Zoom, everything. So now it's time to come back together. And one of the things that I really feel is super important right now for the healing of humanity is to get over this social distancing fear situations and coming back into closeness. One of my most popular videos on YouTube was free hugs video. And I remember during COVID, it went viral and it reached almost 4 million people in just a few weeks. And people were saying, will we ever get back to that again? Will we ever feel safe to hug people again? And I remember seeing all those comments, thousands and thousands of comments of people really truly feeling concerned about whether or not we will ever be able to hug each other again. And it made me realize how traumatizing social distancing really can be on the psyche and also on the physical level. So we're moving beyond that now. We're coming back to feeling safe, feeling trust, loving one another. Hugs are one of the best ways to do that. But if you don't feel comfortable hugging strangers, it's totally fine. But yeah, hug your friends, hug your loved ones, be close to each other, feel that connection. That's part of the healing of humanity right now more than ever. And also part of our event at the Flow State Festival, we're donating a portion of the profits to the Children of the Future initiative. Our intention is to help heal the mental health crisis for children in schools in America and worldwide. And this is a very important time on earth to focus on this. And so every ticket that's sold will be directly impacting and helping support that initiative. And we thank you in advance for your help and your support. And we're so grateful to be able to provide solutions to children because they need it now more than ever. That's why we said Children of the Future. That's the name of it. Children are the future. They are the future adults of the planet. But right now, they are so traumatized from this experience and from many other things. And mental health has degraded to such an extent that over 25% of children have reported being suicidal, and over 65%, that's 2 out of 3, have reported depression or anxiety or some other mental illness. So this is a huge, huge epidemic, more, I think, detrimental, of course, than anything that the actual pandemic did, because the pandemic, there was like 1% of the population that was actually affected, whereas this is 65% of the population that has come out of that with a mental illness. So it's a huge, huge and important movement, and we're grateful to have you involved in any way that you want to be. And if you do feel called to be involved in a bigger way, please feel free to reach out to me. The email is on the website at flowstatefest.com, and you can also go to childfuture.org if you want to see more about our initiative with the Children of the Future. Okay, so that's a little bit of the updates. I really look forward to seeing you at the live event, hopefully. Let's see, Lori says, so true. My granddaughter goes up to anyone and hugs them. And the saddest thing I've seen was when all of the parents are freaking out, like, don't touch. And these are like 4 years old. Yeah, that's true. It's such a good point, Lori. Like people are trying to instill into the children this like continuous fear. And so it is our priority to reverse that. Like we don't need to see children growing up with this complete fear and anxiety about just being near other people. That's not going to make our world a better place. So we want to make it a more connective place. We want to heal that deep divide that was lodged into the children's hearts and minds. And we're going to do that together. Okay, so let's do this meditation together. And, like what we were just talking about from the beginning about meditation, your only true goal in the meditation is to get into what we would call a meditative state. So the meditative state, you could think of it in many ways, but the way I like to think of it is a state of peace. It could be a state of just surrender, awareness, receiving, allowing, connection, feeling one with existence. There's lots of different ways that you could look at it. I'm just going to put on a frequency. 528 is the miracle frequency. So we're going to put that on. And then find a comfortable position to sit with your spine nice and straight. The reason it matters to have your spine straight is because your spine in yoga is known as the staff of God. So the staff of God is, as long as it's straight, it's your connection to the divine. And it really does help if you sit up nice and straight. So sitting up nice and straight, shoulders back and down. And you can roll them back a little bit just to open it up. You can roll your head side to side, stretch your neck a little bit, and just take a nice deep breath into your heart, all the way to your belly. Hold it at the inhale when your lungs are full, and then slowly exhale. Inhale deeply. All the way to the belly, and exhale completely. I'm going to do this 5 times. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can make it really slow, steady, drawing in, filling the lungs, filling the belly, touching that fullness that is also emptiness within. It's where fullness and emptiness meet. That is the still point inside. Inhaling deeply. And exhale. You can exhale out of your nose or out of your mouth. Both are fine. Inhale deeply one more time. And exhale. Now you want to engage Mula Bandha. So this is your perineum, like you have to go pee. Engage Mula Bandha and pull in and up. So you want to kind of lock the energy. That's your bandha, the Mula Bandha lock, keeping the energy in and up. And then at the same time, you want to keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So you're directing the energy up. And if you have the ability to multitask, pulse Mula Bandha. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. And we're just going to stay focused on the breath. So see if you can focus your awareness completely, almost as if there's a prize for you waiting at the end if you're able to maintain the connection to the focus. And just focus the awareness right here at the third eye in the center of the forehead, or at the heart center, or just right where the nose, where the air travels in and out of the nose, and feel the sensations. Observe the sensation of the air as it travels out and in. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it moist? Is it dry? Does it feel good? Just observe without judgment. None of it is better or worse. It just is what it is. But feeling the sensation of the breath traveling in and out of the nose, of the lungs expanding and contracting with the breath, of the belly expanding and contracting. Notice as you exhale, any fatigue leaving your body. And every inhale, new life entering, rejuvenating you with every breath. Deep, cleansing, powerful breathing, like washing yourself from the inside out with the breath. If you can really hear the sound of the breath traveling in and out of the nostrils, like the sound of the ocean waves or the sound of the breeze through the trees. And notice as you focus more and more at the breath, your awareness at the center of the forehead or at your heart center. How the rest of the world seems to just grow silent and still. And the light within you grows brighter and brighter. And you start to feel a distance between yourself and the problems in the world. And with this distance, you can see with clarity your divine place in this world, your purpose, that radiant light within you growing stronger and brighter with every breath. Surrendering deeper and deeper into this calm state of awareness, feeling your heart melting, opening, surrendering, allowing more joy, peace, feelings of harmony, interconnection to everything, starting to dissolve the barrier between yourself and the infinite existence. And as you merge into the field of awareness, where the heart expands, as if it feels as if it's for miles and miles, that your heart could touch beings on the other side of the planet and sending them beautiful, loving, healing, compassionate energy to the children in Ukraine, in Russia, in Syria, the children all over the world, the families, the mothers, planet Earth, the soil, the flowers, the trees, the waters, sending healing, loving light, beautiful energy, feeling the interconnectedness between yourself and all that exists, recognizing that you are one with that, all that exists, and feeling that truth of your beingness, the interconnectedness with everything, merging into the oneness field. Feeling a sense of calm, peace, harmony, grace, divine support, abundance, clarity, truth, love, joy, and all the beautiful energies in the universe coming in to you now, filling you as if you are a vessel, a divine being of light. Every cell in your body becoming infused with this light, with this high vibration, feeling more and more alive, more and more rejuvenated. Every cell in your body rejuvenated with the light of love, with the light of the Creator, the source of life. Think to yourself an affirmation: I am, and then whatever you feel: I am love, I am joy, I am abundance. And feel that. Feel the abundance within you, in your life. Feel the joy and the love in your life. I am source energy. Feeling the interconnectedness to the source of life, the infinite power and potential that exists from connecting to the actual source of life and allowing that power to stream to you and through you as the expression, as you fulfill your divine purpose in this life and rise into your greatness, allowing all of the past to dissolve, melt away, completely releasing any old stories, programs, patterns, belief systems that are no longer serving you, and rising into your greatness, rising into your power, and rising into your divine expression of purpose in this life. Take a deep breath. Hold it into your heart. Feel that expansiveness. Feel yourself growing stronger and bigger and more radiant. And then exhale, releasing, allowing, surrendering. In absolute trust and recognition that whatever is meant for you is coming for you now. And what is not meant for you is leaving your life with grace and ease. And the divine flow of existence is always operating in your life. And without attachment, you let go of what doesn't serve you. And with the grace of God, you welcome in the goodness of all that you deserve. And you deserve everything, all of the goodness, all of the support and the love and the abundance to fulfill your divine life purpose here and now, moving forward with that power, with the support, with the grace of God within you. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, open mouth, sigh it out. We're going to complete our meditation with 3 ohms together. The Om is a primordial sound, connects us to the infinite oneness of existence. So let's do that together. Inhale deeply. The first Om is for yourself. Inhale. Now, the second Om is for your family and your community. Inhale. The third one, we send loving, healing energy and compassion, joy, and abundance frequencies out to the whole world. Inhale. And just touch the silence within for a moment. Just witnessing your life unfolding in divine and perfect order. And feeling a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for this life, for all of the blessings, all of the gifts, all of the challenges as well that help us to grow, evolve, expand, and to prepare us to fulfill our divine life purpose. Deep sense of appreciation filling your heart, your mind. Starting this new week with that vibration, recognizing everything's in divine and perfect order. Everything is happening for you, unfolding in divine time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Many blessings to you and your family. Satnam and Namaste. And you can slowly come back if you want to the present. If you want to share anything in the comments, feel free to post in the comments or anything that you want to share. And hopefully I'll see you at the Flow State Festival. Go check that out, flowstatefest.com, flowstatefest.com. And use my name Dashima to get 10% off your ticket. Spread the word. We are really committed to this beautiful vision of helping humanity heal, bringing people together, transforming lives, and also, like I said, supporting the children of the future through our initiative. So every little thing that we do helps, and we are committed as a community to be the light and continuously show up and serve in all of the beautiful ways that we can and that we do. And so thank you for all the things that you are, all that you are doing. I love you all. And I see you again. We're going to be here live every Sunday, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And starting the week out with love, with joy, with connection, with community, in a meditative, beautiful, joyous, loving energy. And so go out and spread your beautiful light to the world. Until next week, we'll see you again soon.